Hey, welcome to the first test on this channel. Today, I'm showing you a car you all know well from the streets. A massive sales hit and the most popular premium car for several years now. Of course, I'm talking about the second generation Volvo XC60. The second generation of this popular Swedish SUV debuted in 2017 and immediately garnered a lot of interest. It's no wonder, as the previous generation was a huge sales success and was known for being a very solid car. But we're not talking about mere cosmetic changes here. Both inside and out, the car has undergone a real revolution. The majority of parts are new. The XC60 has grown a bit, but has also shed 90 kilos compared to its predecessor. In 2021, a facelift took place, and you can see the differences on the screen. Let's start with the exterior, and there's a lot to talk about here. The car is over 7 years old, which is quite a lot in the automotive world. Yet, it doesn't show its age. It might not have the latest stylistic novelties like illuminated grills, connected rear lights, or multi-segment front lights. It's simple, classic, and elegant, just the way it should be. The front features a large grille with the Volvo logo and, of course, the characteristic Thor's hammer-shaped lights. The profile gives it a very light look, unlike the bulkier XC90. Here, I'll show you a small flaw: mud getting under the doors. It's easy to dirty your legs, and all that grime and sand gets under the seals. The rear has vertically positioned, typical Volvo lights, and a wide font Volvo inscription, a trend that has become popular and is now used by many manufacturers. In my version, the exhaust has two angular tips, which look nice, though you'll find different tips on other models, and after the facelift, they're gone altogether for an eco-friendly look. The trunk holds 505 liters, which is quite average. It's shallow but well-shaped. Fans of numbers and statistics can compare them with the competition. Numbers aside, how practical is the trunk? I managed to fit 2 large and 2 small suitcases here, a family setup for a week-long trip. It wasn't easy because the roller cover moves up when lightly touched, blocking the view. Also, it doesn't retract automatically when you close the trunk, so remember to move it back each time. It's a bit of a hassle, so for longer trips, I recommend leaving it at home. Without it, there's ample space for a few bags or two. 3 backpacks. The seats fold in a 60/40th split, a slight drawback, but when folded, they create a nearly flat floor, allowing for the transport of larger items. Under the floor, there's an optional spare wheel, accessible in a cool way by hooking the floor. The trunk also has hooks, a cigarette lighter socket, and not much else. Note that the roller cover has no storage place under the floor, so you can't take it with you. Time to check out the rear seats, which are really comfortable. I'm 183 centimeters tall and have plenty of legroom and headroom, even with the glass roof. Rear passengers have 2 air vents, a fold-down armrest with cup holders, magazine pockets, and a cigarette lighter socket. The central tunnel is high, making it less comfortable for 5 passengers. The seatbacks are made of slightly rubberized plastic, easy to clean if kids get them dirty. Moving to the driver's seat, we have fantastic leather seats. I drove this car for over 10 hours to Slovenia with just a short 10-minute break, and I got out feeling refreshed without any back pain. The Nappa leather on these seats is amazing to the touch, but tends to wrinkle and develop minor cracks, a common complaint among users. Regarding space, there's nothing to complain about, with both short and tall drivers finding a comfortable position. The large mirrors are worth praising, as they make maneuvering much easier and provide excellent visibility. If the mirrors aren't enough, the car comes with Volvo's BLS system. If a car is in your blind spot, an orange light on the mirror warns you. Many newer models lack this feature due to a semiconductor shortage post-pandemic, so cars often arrived without it. Now, let's talk about the dashboard, which is typical for Volvo. Very simple, neat, and still quite modern looking. Unfortunately, almost all functions are controlled via the touchscreen, which is inconvenient and unsafe. In the pre-facelift version, we still have a drive mode selector knob, later removed. Take a look at these knobs and switches. Each is a tiny piece of art. There are more such pleasant details inside, giving a premium feel. However, I can't praise the piano black plastics around the center console and the screen. They attract dust, scratch easily, and show fingerprints. The same goes for the screen, but Volvo includes a microfiber cloth with the XC60. Aside from that, the materials are generally of good quality. Metal is metal, leather is leather, and the plastics are nice to the touch and don't creak. Overall, the build quality deserves a solid A. The multimedia system is simple and clear, working smoothly with sharp graphics. As mentioned, controlling the climate via the touchscreen is inconvenient, and the only buttons available are for the window heaters. It's a shame the Android Auto display only uses a small part of the screen, wasting potential. Post-facelift, the system runs on Android, with built-in Google services. Initially, it was quite buggy, but most issues have been fixed with updates. The reversing camera is praiseworthy, with excellent quality and clarity even at night. I know journalists and users complain about the 360-degree camera, but I can't comment on it as I don't have it. Behind the chunky 3-spoke steering wheel, which feels great in hand, are digital gauges. These offer 4 classic themes that look much better than the facelifted version, but don't have many functions. In the middle, you can display the map or radio station, but Volvo's navigation is mediocre, making this feature less useful. The onboard computer isn't very comprehensive, not as well thought out as an Audi, which is a minor downside. Let's wrap up the interior review with the storage compartments, featuring nice rubber inserts that can be removed and washed. This is very handy if something spills. The armrest compartment is spacious, with USB ports and a cigarette lighter socket. Unfortunately, the armrest isn't adjustable, though it's wide and comfortable. Time to look under the hood. This model houses the most powerful 235 horsepower diesel engine, paired with all-wheel drive and an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's a Haldex-based system with a rear axle that engages. The engine is very interesting with 4 cylinders, 2 turbochargers, and the power pulse system to eliminate turbo lag, which you can see in a Volvo video linked in the comments. I must say, this Volvo accelerates well from low RPMs with great flexibility, making highway driving a pleasure. However, pressing the gas pedal harder causes the gearbox to downshift several gears. The engine roars, but the car doesn't accelerate much faster. Overall, the engine's refinement is mediocre for a 4-cylinder, and it's quite noisy. It clatters like an old Passat. A 5-cylinder would be much better. The start-stop system also performs poorly, often shutting the engine off in pointless situations, like when coasting to a stop, generating noise and vibrations. Remember, this is a regular diesel, and in newer mild hybrid models, start-stop works much better. The gearbox operates decently. It's not the fastest, occasionally jerky during dynamic driving, but acceptable. If you drive calmly, you'll be satisfied. How does the XC60 drive? Brilliantly, if you enjoy a relaxed drive. The suspension is comfort-oriented and handles bumps very well. There was also an optional air suspension, worth considering if you want large 21-inch wheels. On 19-inch wheels, the standard suspension works great. In corners, the XC60 leans slightly and doesn't encourage fast driving. Overall, this car is best enjoyed at a leisurely pace, which suits me perfectly. The steering assistance is very strong, great for crowded parking lots, but it lacks good feedback from the road. You can reduce it by switching to dynamic mode, but the steering still feels somewhat rubbery. The noise insulation is another area to critique, as it's just adequate. At highway speeds, it gets quite loud and uncomfortable. The XC60's comfort zone tops out at 140 km per h, beyond which it gets noisy and jittery. Another annoyance is the automatic wipers, which work poorly and tend to go haywire, something I couldn't record. However, the headlights are excellent, providing great night visibility. Let's discuss fuel consumption, and I encourage you to check out my channel's fuel consumption testing methodology in the video description. At 90 km per h, the XC60 consumes 5.9 liters per 100 kilometers. At 120 km per h, it's 7.9 liters, and at 140 km per h, it rises to 9 liters. On a calm highway drive, consumption can drop below 6 liters, but in the city, expect up to 9 liters. On our test route, the average consumption was 6.5 liters. More details can be found in the graphic. These are relatively high figures, with competitors like the Audi Q, 5 2.0 TDI or BMW X3 2.0 diesel consuming a bit less. Since this isn't a new car, we can discuss reliability, and the XC60 is average in this regard. Issues include electrical faults, auxiliary battery problems, VCM module failures, minor issues like peeling seals, faulty 4C sensors, and oil consumption. Let's sum up this review. The XC60 is a fantastic SUV, perfect for relaxed driving with great looks, comfortable seats, and a spacious interior. The driving experience is pleasant, it's comfortable, and the ride is enjoyable. What about the downsides? Engine refinement, the start-stop system, the annoying touchscreen, and noise insulation could be better. Overall, I recommend it, especially for those who value comfort over dynamic performance. What are your thoughts? Do you own an XC60? Share your experiences in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and join our Instagram community. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.